Okay, who am I? Come on, who am I? You know, that's right, I'm the unknown dreamer. I am the unknown or known procrastinator. I am your unknown someday I'll. Come on, you know who I am, folks. Hey, it's Joe Fermano. I hear you. Oh, put the bag back on. Your buddy, I hear you. Gee, thanks. I appreciate that. I am Joe Fermano, your host of the How to Use Your Life radio show and today's Daily Dose video blog. You remember back in the 70s, maybe the 80s, the Gong Show? The unknown comic, or how about for those of you who've suffered through, those who live in the major cities, those big football teams or sporting professional teams that have the unknown fan that shows up. Why? Because they don't want to be identified. They're there to support, but they don't really want you to know who they are. Well, that's today's topic. Your unknown dreams, your unknown aspirations. To me, that's what we do. To me, we're here to put those out there, to celebrate life, to celebrate our dreams, our desires, and the things that we want to do. And when we don't do that, when we don't follow through on the things that we think about often but never seem to get started with, you might as well put a bag over your head. You might as well not put an identity on it. But that's the last thing that you want to do. You know, it's funny. On last week's radio show, the How to Use Your Life show, which airs every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, WNJC1360.com. Of course, you can go to my website, joefermano.com. When I interviewed author Christine Clementson, the author of A Daughter's Promise, she said, you know, Joe, I'm a mom. I've got 2 little kids at home. My husband works full-time. I work full-time. I've got all these different roles I play. She said, but you know what? I make time to write because the writing makes me feel good. And the better that I feel, the better everyone else around me benefits. That's what I'm talking about here. In fact, on this week's radio show, I'm going to be interviewing Ann Malum, M-A-H-L-U-M. You've heard of her. She's the founder of backonmyfeet.org. Here's a girl that came from North Dakota, came out to Philadelphia, didn't like what she saw. Every morning she'd run by a homeless shelter and realize, what can I do to help them? Well, the only thing I can do is something that does good for me every day, and that's run. She got them running. They're back on their feet. They're getting back into society, and that's going to be our topic this week when we interview her on the How to Use Your Life radio show. But the point is, she took something that she absolutely loved and made it productive. A little bit of North Dakota came into Philadelphia and showed some real brotherly love, if you know what I'm talking about. But back to the bag thing. You know, if we're not, you may have a dream just to go on a dream vacation. It could be to go back to maybe to be a teacher or a student teacher. It could be to start a hobby, or it could be a great idea or an invention. Whatever it is, we're here to do that. We're here to experience life. How many times have I interviewed people that started and stopped different businesses or had different ideas? Maybe they got into a hobby, they didn't like it, but you know what? They never regretted it. They only regret the things that they didn't do, because along that way, whether it succeeded or not, that's not it. What's it is the fact that they made good relationships, they met people, and they learned from that. You know what? If you're not living your dream, or you're at least not trying to do the things that's in your heart, in your head, little things that you want to do, whether it's planning a trip, starting a business, whatever it might be, you might as well just put the bag on your head and say, hey, I'm not really out there, because you're not putting an identity out there. But that's not what you should do. You know what the bag is for? What's the bag for? The bag is for baggage. That's where you throw all the stuff in there that keeps you from doing it. Why sabotage your success? And oh, by the way, you like the artwork back here? What about the kids? What about our little baggies, right? What about our children, our teenagers, our young adults? Hey, it's up to us to set the example for them. You know, live that out, or else you're going to affect them as well, and they'll walk around with the proverbial bag over their head the rest of their life. Not the way that we want to go. Everything I've experienced in my life, every time, and I struggle with it as well. Look, I'm putting it out there. I do these video blogs. I've got my website, joefermano.com. I've got the radio show, the How to Use Your Life show. All these things that I'm doing, my idea of being an information gatherer, bringing you these success stories, is a passion and dream for me. Where it goes, I don't know. I hope that it helps you, but I'm putting it out there. I'm not keeping it in the bag. I'm not putting it in the bag. I'm not putting it over my head. I have obstacles. I've been sidetracked. I often wonder, your mind starts to think. You can't do that. You just got to move forward. We're wired that way. And then everybody around us benefits from that. So, you know what? Next time, every time you're thinking, oh, who am I to think that I can succeed? Who am I to think that I can do this? I can't do, I shoulda, I coulda. Like they say, you shoulda all over yourself. You don't want to be the unknown dreamer. Just don't do that. In fact, I'll tell you, it scared the heck out of my 3-year-old daughter last night when I was cutting out the holes and putting that on. We don't want to do that. Thank you for tuning in to today's video blog. I am Joe Fermano. Every Tuesday night, tune in, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, joefermano.com. You can link right over to WNJC1360.com. Hey, don't put a bag over your head. Put the things that are holding you back in the bag and throw it out. Make it a great day.